This morning I woke up early, so I had an early breakfast where I made some hot wings for about 900 calories. Here's a quick grocery haul for today. Uh, this liver here, I got uh, a little more than half a pound, and this is going to be divided up in the next few days for breakfast. And this here is basically chuck blade steak, about a pound, 1.2 pounds, and this I'm going to eat right now. Here is 1.2 pounds of it, and I'm going to take out the bones and any gristle that I can find, but this is going to be a bit more than a pound, and I'll try to work out the calories uh, between now and the end of this video. Here's what is left. This is about a pound difference, give or take, so I'm going to give the rest to my wife. Today I want to talk about a very popular name in the ketogenic and fasting communities, Jimmy Moore. He's trying the carnivore diet like I am for 28 days in January, and so far he's been very positive about this way of eating, which is unexpected to me. I thought he was more focused on, fasting and ketogenic diets than carnivore itself, but sure enough, like a lot of people, he's willing to try it. So in the past, he's tried a high protein, zero carb diet, and he had issues because of the relatively low fat content. But now he wants to try it with high fat and moderate protein, very similar to how he does a ketogenic diet. And so far, he reports that he's feeling good doing it, and he recommends the highest fat content when possible, but not necessarily adding fat artificially, but getting naturally high fat meats like ribeye steak. He specifically wants to be ketogenic on the carnivore diet, which is pretty easy to do, but he's trying as much as possible not to run on carbs, so he's not adding any into his diet. He also doesn't want too much protein, and he's aiming for roughly 75% fat in terms of calories, maybe a little bit more. And one of the things he likes is the simplicity of this diet. He started on January 2nd, if I remember correctly, and he was likely in ketosis or very near it already because he has a history of the last few years of doing it. And although he mentioned that he binged a little bit on keto type, sweets over the Christmas holidays, I suspect he wasn't too far out of ketosis, or he was running in and out of it. It just depends. He's been doing this for a while, so he wants to have blood tests done at the end of January, and he's already had some blood tests done so far. And one of the things he reports is that he loves the lifestyle, beyond the diet itself. In the first days, he had to pee frequently overnight. In fact, he specifically mentions on overnight on day 2, he went 9 times. So he says despite that, things have been going well. And he says that carnivore is very stable and it's very simple, in terms of it kind of benefits. In fact, he compared it to fasting in that it's very, simplistic. You just eat meat. He does like eating eggs cooked in butter and then adds a little cream cheese, for example. So he does get a little bit of variety. He also adds like cheddar cheese to some foods, but he's keeping it to the animal kingdom. And, he even said in one of his videos, and I've watched about 2 hours of his videos on this so far, so I'm sort of going through what he's talked about. But he said that he prefers meats to vegetables anyways, due to how he grew up, and vegetables were pushed on him a lot when he was younger, so he's been somewhat resistant to them ever since, maybe compared to other people that are in a keto that may like vegetables. He's already been prone to eating a lot of meat and being semi-keto carnivore. He does take a freeze-dried supplement that it's a complex basically for organs like liver and heart, but he says he's trying not to introduce too many confounding variables into this diet, and he's said he's quite willing to do, eat more real organ meats after the 28-day trial, if he continues to go with it. And already I can tell he's very informed about the zero carb and carnivore diet community from the advice that I've seen him give to others in his Jimmy's Rants, videos that he's been producing. But he admits he's still learning and he's testing, and he likes to test on himself. Now, he considers carnivore advanced keto, very similar to fasting, and he considers keto and fasting useful hacks. And he actually recommends getting on a ketogenic diet before going to carnivore. As far as himself, he drinks mostly water. He does like diet sodas sometimes, but he's apparently not drinking any on carnivore. He tries to listen to satiety signals to determine how much to eat as well. And he said in one of his videos that he eats typically 2,100 to 2,400 calories daily. And he tends to eat twice a day because that's what he used to do on intermittent fasting. But he's not weighing himself daily because he just doesn't care about his weight, which has been one of the criticisms, that I've heard about him. But honestly, he just enjoys the lifestyle of ketogenic living, and fasting, intermittent fasting at least. So, but he's trying this out. So he does it, of course, advocate eliminating junk food and eating out, for, just don't do those things. And he recommends, instead of doing those two things, that you prepare your carnivore meals yourself and that you'll save money and time by doing so, in addition to improving your health by not eating that crap, basically. He doesn't recommend being too rulesy with the diet, and he's not ruled about things like trace carbs on the diet, and he's not averse to a tiny bit of seasoning here and there. But as I mentioned before, he likes to experiment on himself, but he also said he's willing to continue doing the carnivore diet as long as he's continuing to have success with it. He doesn't want to stop if he's doing well, basically. And right now, he believes his body is healing on the inside, and that's actually causing more fat loss, which is actually something I've been thinking about. If you have other reasons to lose body fat outside of, the calories, there's obviously hormones, but if there's some sort of a healing process that occurs, that I thought was interesting from him. He's on less carbs than he's ever been on a ketogenic diet, and he believes that improves his ability to fast. And when he does eat, he tends to eat apparently in a 3 to 8 hour feeding window, from what I gather in his videos. And he says that intermittent fasting is an easier process for him. And sometimes it actually just ends up going more than 24 hours without eating. And that, I believe, is part of his weight loss. He's experiencing higher ketone production. He's testing himself with a glucose monitor on his arm. That's in there, it's like 2 weeks at a time almost. You can put it in there, and he basically checks with a remote display device, and he basically can tell how his ketones and his blood sugar is, and his blood sugar is always under 90 according to him. And he showed it several times on his last video, and it was always like 76, under 80, maybe it hit 80 once or twice, I can't remember, but never went close to 90. So he said that he's lost a lot of weight, 18 pounds so far in 2 weeks, but has not been his major benefit. His major benefits have been things like higher energy and more clarity of mind. He doesn't think about food as much as he normally does, which I don't know how much normal is for him, but if that's even less, I think that's generally a good thing. Anytime you're overweight, generally speaking, if you think about food less, that's generally a good thing. And he reports that he hasn't had a lot of cravings since keto anyways, and that's been, I don't know, several years at this point, a decade or more, I don't know. But he notes that there are no things like cookies or treats like keto types of, sweets that he can pick at from time to time. So because those things aren't in the palate, he's not reminded or thinking about those things. So that's one of the things adding to his ability to not think about food as much. And one of the things he mentioned is he doesn't believe that you need to lower fat to lose weight, which does make sense, as his experience on carnivore has been showing. As he says, he averages about 75% dietary fat across all of his meals, yet he's still losing weight. So that goes to show that calories does play a role here, or at least fuel, or how the body consumes the different macronutrients and stuff like that. Generally, there are other factors into play that allow people to lose weight. So I thought it was very interesting. He's halfway through this journey. By the end of January, he's going to give a report on how things have been going, as well as reporting his blood work. And I think that's very interesting. So I just wanted to mention that I just got sort of wrapped into watching all of these videos, and I was just kind of blown away that he was interested in this, but I was interested to see how he was reporting that. So anyways, thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.